Welcome to Vault Crashers, a show dedicated to kicking down the vault door to help you find something you'll fall in love with. Our mission, our creed, our code is this: to share our passion for Vault comics in a way that makes them approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a comic book or graphic novel you'll fall in love with. Welcome. My name is Nikki. My pronouns are they, them.
My name is Adair. My pronouns are she, her. And Vault Comics, in case you didn't know, was founded in 2016 and is based in Missoula, Montana. They publish creator-owned horror, fantasy, and sci-fi comics and graphic novels. This is our first minisode, which isn't just an excuse for more chaos. In minisodes, we'll chat about whatever we want related to Vault and occasionally bring in a special guest who we actually have today. So we have the one, the only, our host for the evening, Daniel Crary, who was the social commerce and communication director at Vault Comics and is now currently the director of community engagement and events. Dan, for us lesser beings, what does that even mean? And please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Dan. My pronouns are he, him, and this is Axe, and their pronouns are get fucked. Really wanted to join. I was brought on to Vault full time back in February and was just handling like social media accounts and live streams, communications and all that. And took on conventions and in-person events as sort of an experiment, kind of see where we were as an industry. And after wrapping our first convention season, feel like we're back to a certain degree, obviously with caveats and obviously with a lot of changes in expectations, and it's a very different model, but I'm excited to be spearheading not just Vault's convention presence in 2023 and beyond, but as a part of my new role, I'm also going to be popping up in comic book shops around the country. So you can look forward to some sort of Vault mini convention style, launch day signings and a lot of different fun things like that. So in the near future, probably January, February, look for some social media activations where we're asking where your favorite shop is, who you like to go to, where you like to hang out. And you'll see me. You guys are going to be sick of my face. I'm going to be not just on your screens, but at your conventions and in your shops. I might even bring this guy with me.
There's no way we could get tired of you. Look at that face.
I know,
look at that face.
Great face, great face.
Yeah,
both of you, both
yeah.
you, and
yeah,
Axe.
both of you. Just
like Axe is great. Face.
Just looking great.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
Axe is my buddy.
Yeah,
handsome.
Dan, we were really lucky enough that Nikki got to spend time with you at C2E2. I got to spend time with you at Emerald City Comic Con, and then we both got to hang out with you at New York Comic Con, which was just delightful. And now that you have wrapped this first convention season, like, how do you see Vault in the convention space? Was it a fun thing with the combination of whatnot?
It was, I think it was really educational for everyone because we had members of the team like Adrian and David who've been to many, many, many conventions over the years. And, Adrian used to, drive the books in himself and everything in the early years. And to see the perspective on people from the team as to where conventions were and where they are now and how things have changed. I feel great about our season. We kept it small, just those little 10-foot booths at the 4 shows we went to. So I feel confident that next year we may not go to the same exact shows. We're probably not going to go to as many quite the same way, but I think it's safe to say that you can expect a bigger presence next year at the shows that we are at. So it was really gratifying to see how much the brand has changed. I first went to a convention with Vault in 2019 at Emerald City Comic Con, actually. And that was the first time that I'd worked with them in any real capacity. And then kind of helped run the show a little bit at New York 2019. And then something happened. I don't remember what. But then we didn't do any more shows for a while.
There's like a year that's like missing in my memory.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, something.
I don't know. Probably not important, guys.
It wasn't really, I don't know. It wasn't that big a deal. But no, we had it was a very different reception and a very different level of excitement and number of fans. And even though our booths were smaller, to see the number of people who were just so thrilled to see our creators and talk to us and bring their friends over and say, this is the book I was telling you about. Yeah, it was really special being able to send somebody off with a book and say, I promise you're going to love it. And if you don't, you can come back tomorrow and, chew my head off. But most of those people came back and bought something else and told us how much they loved it. So, it felt good to get books in people's hands.
I want to say about C2E2, that was my first convention ever. And so at my first convention ever, I got to meet Dan and hang out around the Vault booth for a bit. And then when I went to New York Comic Con, that was the first time I met Adair actually in New York.
Yeah.
And got to hang out with more people. So that was fantastic.
Something that I absolutely loved about Vault's booth that I was really appreciating at both at Emerald City and at New York was just the activity that was going on. It was very, obviously you go there and you can pick up your comics, you can pick up your graphic novels, you can go and get your Wonderbound, but also there was a myriad of signings and the community engagement was amazing. And then you had John Pearson at New York doing a live painting, which I think there are 80 photos of just him painting on my phone because it was so cool. And then I unfortunately didn't get to go to Portland to see your the panel that you had there, but you guys also had an amazing panel where you teased a lot of stuff for the new year, and that was just so much fun, and all the original art you were including, and you guys were just so active in the fan engagement. And I think that was something that was really, really special. There was never a dull moment, which I'm sure it was exhausting for you guys, but was so fun to be a participant in.
I'm so glad. It was, I'm not going to act like it wasn't exhausting, but it was great to meet so many people like Nikki, like Adair, so many people from Whatnot Stream specifically, but also who've been engaging with us on Twitter for years, or who had been following us and liking everything on Instagram, or who had, sent us really thoughtful messages on Facebook and stuff. To meet people in real life and connect over a shared love of storytelling and genre fiction and an inclusive space in comics where everybody is welcome and every story is valued, it just felt like as exhausting as it can be, and as exhausting as it was so wonderful to be surrounded by folks who just love story and just, are there to celebrate it and celebrate each other and find some community. It was, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm glad that it was enough of a success that we're having really, really cool conversations about next year. And, I'm really looking forward to coming back here in a year and chatting about what the 2023 season was like, because if we pull off half of what we're talking about at the shows we're going to go, it's going to be really, really fucking cool.
Can you, without giving any details, I know nothing is set in stone, but can you give with 3 words a hint to what we can expect from Vault in the 2023 season?
Bigger, louder, ink.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Nice. I appreciate that. You guys actually teased a lot of things on your panel that you've now.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
He wanted me to say axe as well.
Bigger, louder, it's axe.
Axe. It's because 2023 is the year of axe. So I think he didn't want anyone to forget that.
Which you guys did just announce. You teased it at the panel. You teased several of your spring announcements. You also teased your new imprint, which is a very exciting concept. And I'm hoping that we'll get to see more news on that. I know that you have lots of cool names involved in that. And so I'm excited for that.
Announced in there was Pete Wentz's our first book that's going to Pete Wentz of Fallout Boy. His book is called Dying Inside, and Lisa Sturl is doing the art for it. And it is the I've already seen the preliminary covers. And you guys, let me just say, if you were a fan of the Modern Witch Tarot deck,
Which
I think you're going to be
literally have right there.
Mine's like right there.
Mine's right there.
I think you're going to really enjoy. You're going to enjoy when you see that cover.
You and Vault have done something really, really cool though that I feel like we'd be remiss to not mention is you've created this community on Whatnot. And those of, I mean, I would be happy for you to explain sort of like what you guys do on Whatnot and all of the exciting things you have done and will continue to do, because when this releases, you'll have a Whatnot stream on Wednesday. But you really have created a very cool community. Nikki and I, that is how we know each other. We have met some really incredible people, like Tyler from A Wave Blue World. And it's just been such a very cool experience to watch that community grow. And now it's been very cool to also go onto Tyler's streams to see like that community starting and then this crossover. And I'm like, it's a family. But that was just such a delight going to both Emerald City and then also New York and like meeting these people in real life. And you created a space that was really safe for a lot of us who did not feel necessarily super comfortable going in. And I'm really lucky that I do have a local comic book shop that is very welcoming, but that has not always been the experience. And you really did something for a lot of people. And I think that was such a cool concept that Vault and you created. But I would love you to kind of explain like what sort of the goal with that was and maybe tease a little bit about what's to come with Whatnot.
Whatnot was a really big part of why I was hired, was to host live streams specifically. And a lot of it came from the fact that, you know, it's a small company based in Missoula, and there's a lot of things just in storage because you can only sell so much at conventions, so much on the website. And then the book wraps and the trade is available, and the market isn't quite the same for a lot of those exclusives, a lot of those variants and stuff. So they're just kind of sitting on a lot of this inventory. And as Whatnot started to really take off, it looked like a really great opportunity for just a new line of revenue and a new way to engage that core fan base. And I don't want to speak for everybody on Whatnot by any means. A lot of people are doing amazing shows. It's very geared towards collectors and very specific type of collector. And I definitely try to cater to collectors as well. But one thing I wanted to do from day one was cater to readers and make sure that we did things like dollar trade paperbacks and, collected edition giveaways and things like that to just get people reading the books. Because as awesome as it is to find that one cover from Sarah and the Royal Stars that you're missing, and oh my gosh, it's there and it's in perfect condition. That's such a cool feeling. And I wanted to, make sure those people got fed, they got to eat. But when I was, I don't know, probably 8 years old, I went into my local comic book shop and I picked up I will never forget it. I picked up a copy of Aquaman and I started reading it. And the proprietor yelled at me pretty loud and was like, you can't just read these things. They're not a library. You got to pay for that or get out. And so I left and I didn't go back to a comic book shop for 7 years. I didn't step foot in a comic book shop again until I was 15. And I know that is a pretty mild experience compared to what kind of harassment a lot of people have faced in a lot of different spaces. I'm not trying to say anything about comic book shops because I know a lot of incredible comic book shops. I had one bad experience one time and it just kept me out of there. And I know that can happen to folks. So I really wanted to make sure that our Whatnot streams felt like coming to the Vault booth. And that's what I had observed when I went to the shows with the team in 2019 was like, everybody's welcome. Please pick it up and put it in your hands. My favorite quote of Damian Wassel's that is appropriate for air is that I'd rather you steal it than not read it. And that's what he would say. And I love that. I love that so much. Like, please pick it up. Please read it. We just want to share these stories with people. And Whatnot was a really unique opportunity for, without naming any names or saying anything out of tail, we have folks who are business professionals who travel all over the world and don't have a local shop, but love comics, who drop in on the streams. We have folks who haven't felt comfortable in a shop for a lot of years. We have immunocompromised people who are going through treatment for very serious illness and cannot go to a shop. They cannot be around people. So and then we have the folks who go to the shop every week and they pick up their titles, and this is just another extension of their weekly comic book routine. So it's been a very cool space to meet a lot of incredible people, many of whom we're now working with in a professional capacity like this. Harrison of Harrison Made Art and I have had a couple of professional meetings about some projects. Like there's just really, really cool people that kind of found the stream right away who had some sort of connection to Vault and just wanted to see what was up. And it's just grown into something really special.
I have to say, like, I don't know if I would have been so hyped about going to conventions if it wasn't for you and Whatnot stream. There is just, if people have not checked it out before, there is something about that group, this Vault Whatnot stream and what Dan Crary has done that made me feel included in the comics community. And that's something I told you in Chicago when I met you. It really is wonderful to just like be around other people who get it, but also you get to know people. You really do. Like, you care about the folks who are in this community, and that's why it just feels so like organic seeing you in Chicago and then again in New York. It was like, yo, it's Dan. Like, that's friendship, that's comics, that's what we want it to be. We want it to be a community. So shout out to you for being awesome.
Snaps.
I'm like, all the snaps. Let's see if we can make you cry on that one.
Let's make Nikki cry. That
no,
seems like
it's
it
really
seems like everyone's about to cry.
Like, I cry every episode of anything I record.
I'll tell you this much, Nikki. When I met you in Chicago and you were so sweet and so kind and so engaged and so dear, you gave me a card that expressed many of the sentiments you just did. And I want you to know that card lives on my desk. That card is on my desk. So I see that card every day and think about like why I do what I do and the kind of space that I want to make for people. So
Dan's bed is his desk. Your card is in his bed.
I have a co-working space.
That's totally fine. It's okay.
I will always remember the first Whatnot stream. It was the most chaotic and wonderful thing. And I was like, what am I in store for? And now it just feels like, and I love at the end, everyone's like, bye friends, see you soon. Like everyone's just like, I miss you all already. It was so good. But I will say something I really appreciate, that I am so intimidated by artists, as I've shared with both of you. This is not news. I find, because I am in no way a visual artist, I find artists so incredibly compelling and interesting, but also intimidating, because it's just something I genuinely cannot do. I will not ever be able to do it. I've tried. But you have made artists feel and creators feel really approachable, because something you do on your Whatnot streams is you bring in different creators, you ask them questions, and it's almost like watching a fun little TV show, like a little tete-a-tete between like you and someone, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, and then I start looking at all their other art, and then I'm like seeing them at a convention, and I just want to be like, oh yeah, I feel it. I hugged Liana Kangas, like that's a thing I did. But, that's not a thing I probably would have done had I not, seen her in an interview and with you. And then also you had her make a really beautiful little inscription on She Said Destroy book for me. So, but yeah, I just think that there's something that you feel very special. You feel very seen. And that is really, I know that is what you are trying to do. And it is 100% accomplished. And you are so patient with all of us as we're just like, now do this. Now we want a story time. Like, Dan, give us a story time. Shave your beard. Sing us a song.
Sing a song. Yeah, like it's all this stuff.
Dan,
yeah.
I will just state, Dan has read us stories. He has sang us songs, and he has shaved his beard, all on the Whatnot stream. So this is what you are missing.
Are you not entertained?
We are, very much so. There is a Whatnot stream this Wednesday.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to tell us about it?
We're gonna have original art. We're gonna have some really, really cool original art. Yeah. Leona
Art takes
Kangas is
in.
working on some pieces. And I've got some other stuff that I've collected over the year convention season. This one is my personal favorite. Now that we have announced Money Shot is coming back.
Oh, nice.
I had Tim Seeley do this for us in Chicago.
It looks like a
This is Money
fart.
Shot #1. This is a one of a kind piece. So I'm really excited for somebody to
Wait,
to pick this up.
that's Money Shot
This-
#1. Like
This is
with
Money
the
Shot
sketch
#1
like
sketch cover
like
that has been sketched by Tim Seeley.
okay.
You can see his signature right there. That
But
says
that
coming back
real
soon. So
zoom
Tim
in
Seeley
on
wrote
that
a book.
crack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yep,
zoom
gotta get
in.
right.
Really get in there. Yeah. No, that's all the way in. Perfect.
No.
All the way in.
Dan, can we expect an amazing outfit from you next week? You always bring
I
it.
plan on wearing something pretty fly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the best sense of fashion.
I know.
Like
He-
so like
okay, let me
if there's just best dressed of whatnot.
Yeah, best dressed of whatnot. That is
That's
the
Stop it.
superlative. So Nikki, we have a few as of today, because today is actually a Wednesday that we're
Mhm.
filming. We have a few little updates on some issues that have come out. You want to share with the people?
Well, so the big thing that came out today was the final issue of the Blue Flame, and that is okay, so I read it, like I read all 10 issues. I just reread all of them. I think the Blue Flame was something so unexpected from Vault. That is not something I would have expected based on all the other titles I've read, because it's a commentary on superheroes, and superheroes is not really like what Vault does. And
yeah, it hasn't been a Vault thing.
like and when you read it, when I read the first issue, I was like, okay, this is still even not what I thought I was gonna get.
The ending is perfect. And I think that there's a propensity in superhero stories to let the real overtake the hope. And I think as real as it gets, and as weighty as the final confrontation is, and as high as the stakes are, it doesn't lose hope. And speaking only for myself, as a guy who spent like real money on like Batman collectibles recently, I'm superhero obsessed, and I really, really love that the Blue Flame does not lose hope, and it maintains that through the end, and manages to weave both a very high stakes, interesting intellectual story and an incredibly just like human and decent story at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of a trade. That trade is going to, I'm so excited for people to read that in its entirety. I'm glad you got to do that today.
No, I read the entire thing in the last like several days, because initially when I first picked it up, it is so kind of dark and heavy that I was not mentally prepared for it, and I was like, okay, whew, pause, and then reading it all together, I was just like, oh, this is not an experience I was expecting, and it is something that I've been thinking about it, and the ending has stuck with me in a way where the more I'm considering it and meditating on it, I'm like, that is one hell of an ending. And I cannot wait to do like a full episode to talk about it. But it took me on a journey I was not expecting to go on, and that's kind of what Vault does.
That is so true.
So I have a question about final order cutoffs and why pre-ordering comics is so important, and what we need to be looking for to pre-order for Vault coming up soon.
Well, the way that I always remember it is that you gotta get down with FOC. Yeah, you know me, every last homie. But in all seriousness, FOC is final order cutoff is extremely important because we have over 3,000 local comic book shops in this country, and they don't know what to order in what volume unless you tell them, hey, I want that book. So you have to call, text, email, use smoke signals, semaphore, send a telegraph, show up in person and do an interpretive dance. However, you can let your local shop know that you want something before the FOC date, which tends to be roughly 30 days before it actually comes out. So if a book's coming out in January, you know that the FOC date is going to be in December. So for example, Barbaric, Hell to Pay, the third volume, is coming out on January 18th, but the FOC date is going to be December 19th. So just about 30 days away. So for that, as well as the 2 direct markets, so comic book shop exclusive covers of Volume 1 and Volume 2 trade paperbacks that are coming out. Volume 1 is a steal. It's only $9.99. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, all the new Barbaric stuff, the final order cutoff is going to be this coming. Well, not this coming, but when this comes out, I guess, because we're 2 weeks back. But on Monday, December 19th is the day that you need to let folks know by. So if you have a local shop, I know Adair, you go to Arcane, but any shop that you want to go to, any place that you're going to pick it up on the 19th, you can let them know that, yeah, I need a copy of Barbaric trade paperback, Volume 1, Volume 2, Hell to Pay #1, Bonding, mwah, our new OGN from Matthew Ehrman, the writer of Witchblood, Bonding. That's your final order cutoff for that one, along with Door to Door Night by Night #3, West of Sundown #8. Like there's a bunch of books on FOC in one day there, just leading to a pretty big splash in January and February. We're going to have a bunch of books coming out, but FOC is super important, not just for publishers to make sure that our print order is where it needs to be, but for those local retailers, they want to try and get their supply as close to actual demand as possible, so they're not sitting on a bunch of empty books or a bunch of books that are just taking up space that people weren't interested in. So, you know, letting people know, starting a pull list at your local shop is one of the best things you can do, saying, I'd like you to add that to my pull list, and then you never have to do it again. Then they know every time there's a new issue, they're putting it in your box. They're putting it in your stack. So start a pull list today.
All right, you want to have some fun? Let's have.
Let's
are we
have
drinking?
some fun.
We're drinking. And
Yeah,
we're gonna
we
have
all
some
have
fun real
alcohol.
quick.
We've all, thanks to the power of editing. Thanks, Nikki. We all have a drink, and we're gonna play a game with Dan. Vault edition of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Ooh, one of my favorites.
Good luck with this being in the room with him. Fuck, marry, kill. From Barbaric, Owen, Axe, or Soren. Those are your 3. Fuck,
I know,
marry,
right?
kill.
That's really
I mean,
painful.
that's so hard.
I don't actually think it's that hard.
No, it's not that hard. Yeah, fuck Owen, marry Soren, and I'm so sorry. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. It's just a game. It's just a game. Where are you going? Now he's upset.
Well,
thanks for that.
Not what I would have chosen, but you know.
You would have married Axe?
No. Have you seen that tongue?
I
All
mean,
right, give me the next one.
All right. Fuck, marry, kill, door by door. Fred, Cal, and oh gosh, why? Oh, why? Why?
Lamash 2, it's the nipple
Lamash 2,
monster.
the bloody nipple monster. No, I knew. This is the thing, is I was not
Well,
prepared
I'm gonna
for that
fuck
one.
the bloody nipple monster. Come on.
Yes.
Who's gonna say
You
no to that?
would.
Yeah, I think I'd marry Cal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you're killing Fred. All right.
Yeah, killing Fred. Sorry, Fred. Only because I like to say Fred's dead, baby. Fred's dead.
So Wasted Space, Dust, Billy, and Molly.
That's the hardest. That's the cruelest one. That's the worst one you could have possibly done to me.
That's what she said.
Fuck Dust.
I mean,
Yeah,
and then
Daddy Dust.
Daddy.
I think you marry Molly and kill Billy only because it's been out for years.
Okay. Money shot.
All right. Money shot. We have Doug, Dogger. I don't know how to say the name, but it's the hot tentacle villain, and we're talking about volume 1. And Mr. Elder, who is the meditating creature with the big dick from like the first volume. And I have that ready to go if you need a visual reference of Mr. Elder.
I'm going to fuck Doug. I'm going to marry Doug, and then I'm going to kill Doug in that order.
Yes.
That was a great answer.
That was the best answer.
Doug, aka Supermassive Black Hole. He is my absolute favorite. And when you guys see how the new issue opens with Doug in a very fun moment, yeah. Anyways,
Like,
I love Doug. I love Doug so much, and I love Money Shot. And I hope, I want to come back and talk to you guys about Money Shot sometime.
You're more than welcome, Dan. You're always welcome.
Yes, no, I would love that. Money Shot is. It's just I was going through to like Money Shot today. I'm like, which character am I going to throw out there? And I'm like, this is such like a cool.
I mean, you want to fucking marry all of them.
Like you want. No, I don't want to marry anybody. I want to fuck everything. That's what I want to do.
It'll be written on her tombstone.
Yeah, no, I will.
Doing what she loved. Anyway.
Fucking for science. What? Okay.
Science. All right.
For science. All right.
Another round.
Dan,
okay.
That's it.
We can take
done.
another.
He survived it.
Okay, so then I will give you guys, a fuck, marry, kill. Then.
Oh! I didn't realize the tables were turning.
The tables.
Condiments. Oh.
How the turntables have turned.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do, fuck, marry, kill. Bashan from These Savage Shores. The Spider-Man, the white from The Rush. And Steel from Barbaric.
Okay, so it's Steel, Bashan, White Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate you.
Well, I got really excited about the White Spider-Man. It's from so I'm probably fucking.
Yeah, that's
I got really excited.
Too. Like my impulse too is that.
But also, like, I could marry them and they can just go off in the distance and leave me the fuck alone. So
well, they're all immortal. They are all functionally immortal. So any marriage is going to be fraught.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just kind of like, you can go do your thing. I'm going to go live my life. We're married. It's a piece of paper.
So who do we? I guess then it goes from who do we like the least to the most. Because we're stuck with them forever.
We're stuck with them forever. So we really can't kill them. So we just have to fuck them all. And that's it. Because if they're immortal, you can't kill them.
Yeah.
And then if you're married to them, you're stuck with them. But you could like one night stand all of them. That's it. That's my answer.
I don't feel like there's another answer to that either. Honestly.
I'd marry Steel.
I would marry Steel. You know what?
That big beautiful himbo.
Steel is a himbo. You know. No, I wouldn't marry him, but he's a himbo. That's it. Like I would. You know what? I don't even know.
Dan, that was like a really hard one though. Like I'm just like my brain is broken at this point.
Steel. Oh, I remember one of the reveals in a panel.
No.
All right, we're not going there.
No, Nikki.
We'll talk about my like barbaric.
No. Nikki,
in January.
Nikki, we don't have 20 more minutes.
Stop. We're done. All right, that's it.
So, how do we end this episode? No. Tune in later this month. We'll have a full episode with our co-host Dan McMahon. And Dan, before we leave, we have a very serious question we have to ask you, and we would be so wasting your time if we did not ask this question. So, Nikki,
what is your favorite sandwich?
Everything bagel with tofu scallion ice cream.
All right, Money Shot. We have Doug Dogger. I don't know how to say the name, but it's the hot tentacle villain, and we're talking about volume 1. And Mr. Elder, who is the meditating creature with the big dick from like the first volume. And I have that ready to go if you need a visual reference of Mr. Elder.
I'm going to fuck Doug. I'm going to marry Doug, and then I'm going to kill Doug in that order.
Yes.
That was a great answer.
That was the best answer.
Doug, aka Supermassive Black Hole. He is my absolute favorite. And when you guys see how the new issue opens with Doug in a very fun moment, yeah. Anyways,
Like,
I love Doug. I love Doug so much, and I love Money Shot. Okay. So then I will give you guys, a fuck, marry, kill. Then
Oh! I didn't realize the tables were turning.
the tables,
condiments.
how the turntables have turned.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do fuck, marry, kill. Bashan from These Savage Shores, the Spider-Man, the white from The Rush, and Steel from Barbaric.
Okay, so it's Steel, Bashan, White Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate you.
Well, they're all immortal. They are all functionally immortal. So any marriage is going to be fraught.
Because we're stuck with them forever.
We're stuck with them forever, so we really can't kill them. So we just have to fuck them all, and that's it. Because if they're immortal, you can't kill them.
Yeah.
And then if you're
Dan,
married to them, you're stuck with them. But you could like one night stand all of them. That's it. That's my answer.
I don't feel like there's another answer to that either. Honestly.
I'd marry Steel.
I would marry.
Steel.
You know what?
That big beautiful himbo.
Steel is a himbo. You know. No, I wouldn't marry him, but he's a himbo. That's it. Like I would.
Dan, that was like a really hard one though. Like I'm just like my brain is broken at this point. And Dan, before we leave, we have a very serious question we have to ask you, and we would be so wasting your time if we did not ask this question. So, Nikki,
what is your favorite sandwich?
Everything bagel with tofu scallion ice cream. Ice cream? Wow, I said ice cream. Tofu scallion cream cheese. That makes a little more sense.
That does.
You get a slice. Then you get a slice of tomato on there, real thin. Get a little red onion. Get some dill, and the most important thing, because I don't do the meat no more. I don't do the lox. Capers. The perfect sandwich is a bagel with cream cheese and everything I just listed.
Noted.
That's a very sexy sandwich. Yeah,
that is a sex. I mean, eating
not
it's
breath wise.
I was about to say eating
it's messy,
not.
And with this beard, it just looks like It looks like It's a lot of just white shit in my beard. It looks like a fraternity composite photo. It's bad.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks, Dan, for being here with us, being our first guest on these
Yay!
minisodes. We really appreciate it. And
Puppy!
Chaos! Yay!
Are you not mad anymore? Okay. Axe says goodbye.
Bye, Axe.
Bye, Axe. Sorry he killed you.
Oh, no kisses. No kisses.
I wouldn't have killed you. All right.
I wouldn't have. I would have.
Okay, so we're saying goodbye. Wait, goodbye? Yeah, okay.
We said goodbye. Like, what do you think about me?
Oh.